Hello and welcome to a new, series of Backstage with Boria, presented by AGS Federal Life Insurance. My first guest, Kalikesh Singh Deo, now first term as president. He was acting president for a while. The sport which is the most successful in India in 2025, World Championship medals, World Cup medals, multiple podium finishes across the year. Shooting League coming up in February of 2026. Asian Games, a massive year for shooting coming up. So Kalikesh, welcome. Now that the election is out of the way, everything is done, you are settled. Your thoughts on the sport in 2025?
Thank you, Boria, and congratulations on your show. Shooting's had a great year. Even after the success in the Olympics, we've been ranked consistently across World Cups and World Championships as one of the top three countries in the world. Our shooters have excelled, giving us consistent medal flows, and we still remain one of the strongest contenders for medal winning for any sport in India in the upcoming Asian Games or in the Olympics. In that backdrop, I think the task as a federation before us becomes even more challenging to ensure that the team stays united, stays in place, and we manage to give it the kind of support it requires to be able to convert larger number of medals and larger number of gold medals. I think that's the key challenge before us going ahead into the next cycle of Olympics. Having said that, we're also looking at launching the Shooting League of India. The first competition is to be held starting from the 16th of February 2026 for a period of 10 days. And this is the first of a kind franchise-based shooting league model in the world. So both the ISSF, the Global Fraternity for Shooting, as well as the Indian Sports Fraternity are looking at it with expectation. And we intend to meet those expectations to ensure that the league makes for a fun, entertaining platform for our shooters to gain more visibility and get even more financial support going ahead.
I will come to the league in a bit, but just to kind of take you back, you said we are consistently winning medals, and you're right. Perhaps the only sport at the moment which is doing so, men's hockey may be the other one. But what is standing out as far as shooting is concerned is success at the junior level and the senior level. I can see people in their pre-teens and teens doing brilliant, 14, 15, 16, 17. I can also see, say, 19 to 24, 25, that period, the group doing well. So clearly you've done something right. Is it the coaching structure? Is it the professional structure? What is going on? Because this seamless flow between junior to senior has made India a shooting powerhouse.
Absolutely, Boria. If you remember back in the 2012 Olympic cycle, the NRAI took into it under its wing the junior program. And since then, it's been a consistent effort to ensure that the depth and breadth of Indian shooting gets younger by age and demography. And we've seen successes across space. To give you an example, even after the Olympics, the national games was won by a 13-year-old and the national championship was won by a 14-year-old. And this is the kind of breadth we have and depth we have in Indian shooting. And it is our responsibility as a federation to ensure that we have a seamless transition from junior shooters, giving them the right exposure, high performance training, as well as seamless coaching support to ensure that they convert into senior shooters and manage to compete with the best in the world. Having said that, the new areas of interventions by the federation has been a very successful high performance program. As you know, shooting is as much a mental sport as it is a physical sport. It's as much a team sport as it is an individual sport. So we need to make sure that the shooters are in the best frame of mind at the time that is required in the best form. So we need to monitor their peaking and resting cycles. And for that, we are making an individual chart for each and every shooter that we have in our caucus of national squad, so that we can actually give inputs to the shooters, data-based inputs, based on interventions by the high performance team. And we intend to ensure that there's continuity between the coaches that they have, between their personal coaches and national coaches, and a common minimum program is worked out so that training is done across the year consistently. All programs have challenges, and certainly this program also has its own share of challenges. But I'm confident going ahead we'll be able to overcome them to get better and better results.
The other thing that I want to kind of understand from you is, what pleases me no end is the depth of talent. Take one specific example of pistol. Suruchi Inder has had a great year. In the World Championship in Cairo, for whatever reason, she shot a 577 or 78, did not make the finals. Esha and Manu both made the finals. Then the year-ender tournament, Suruchi Inder blazes herself to gold, while the two. So this is one sport where it's no longer about Abhinav, no longer about Gagan, no longer about, okay, one shooter here, one shooter there, a Vijay or a somebody else winning one medal. It's about this entire crop out. So a lot of people told me, because I follow this sport very closely, a lot of people told me, oh, you know what, World Cups, China is in there. Let China come to the World Championship. There we will understand whether India is good enough or not. China was there. In the year ender, China was there. India stood ground. India multiple medals at the World Championship or the year ender, even beating China on multiple occasions. So the depth of talent, Kalikesh, must make you very, very happy. And that tells me more bodies on the starting line means more medals coming in the Asian Games.
Absolutely. That it's amazing what's transformed the sport of shooting into what it has become now. We have almost 95,000 registered shooters. In every nationals, we have more than 15,000 shooters competing. But they've gone to the district, state, zonal, pre-national level to be able to compete in the nationals. And that by itself speaks about the volumes of the depth that we have in Indian shooting. And there was a time that we had our stars, Abhinav, Gagan, Vijay Kumar, etc. These were the stars which provided the impetus and encouragement to the sport of shooting. And now Manu Bhakar, Swapnil, Sarabjyot, with their fantastic performances in the Indian Olympics, I think always our stars who win medals will provide that encouragement and incentive for our youngsters to get into the sport of shooting. It is as a federation that we have to provide them an opportunity to be able to do so. And for that, we'd be happy to know that we've been connecting with various schools to ensure that at the school level, shooting ranges are built in every as many schools as possible. I think we have more than 17,000 shooting ranges which are now connected or registered with the federation in some way. And we intend to promote the sport in a big way in schools. So grassroots level, basic development of the sport happens. Having said that, I think it is the intense hard work of the shooters themselves which have got them to this level. We are now at a very competitive level where we are unable to predict which athlete is going to be at the number one in our domestic events or trials. But that's a good thing. It keeps the older athletes, the more senior athletes on their toes and keeps them at the best in their performances, not allowing for complacency. It also allows the policies that we have, which are very transparent and very meritorious, merit-based. We don't have any subjective decision-making. As far as possible, we try and avoid that. That keeps the sense of fair play about and gives a sense of hope to the younger athletes. And if they perform well, they will make the team and nothing will keep them away from it. So I think it's a mix of the effort put in by the athletes, the infrastructure which is being built, and a strong grassroots drive by the federation, including the state federations.
Fascinating. Now a little bit more on the league. Can you just give me a little bit, in terms of the format, how you plan to go about it? Have you obviously the international federation is backing it? Will we expect the best shooters of the world to come to India by sharing stage with them? What that will do to our younger shooters, like we've seen in the IPL and getting replicated in some other leagues? Your thoughts on the league, please.
So the league is a fine format, and of course the ISSF is backing it. We've had more than 70 international shooters, top-level international shooters, expressing interest. Now, ultimately, it will depend upon the curriculum and the schedule and the calendar for those individual shooters, whether they'll be able to perform or not. And of course, it also depends upon the franchisees picking them. The format is in such a way that we have allowed for a maximum of 4 foreign shooters and a minimum of 2 junior shooters, so that we get the best in the world. Our caucus of domestic shooters get experience too, and our junior shooters also get a chance to play with the best in the world. I think this will provide a lot of confidence to our younger shooters, especially in an area where it is most required, that is the finals format. The entire league is based on a mixed team finals format, and we the idea is to make sure that the sport and the league itself becomes entertaining, it creates eyeballs, and it transcends the already large followers of shooting that we have into other areas by delving into sports such as esports, virtual reality. So, and we intend to ensure that we are able to sufficiently explain the game, the technicalities of the game during the league format, broadcast format, as well as the emotions and the pressures on the shooter, so that the audience can relate to the athlete as well as the sport much more.
Any 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 plans at fan engagement? Because that's one thing that maybe we can do a little bit better. Because
Absolutely.
clearly multiple medals are being won. Record says that this is the most successful sport in India. I'm not seeing it, and nor are you. Statistics clearly tells us that 20 plus medals at the Asian Games, Olympic Games, multiple medals, World Championships. To expand the base, fan engagement. Any thoughts that the federation has to involve maybe fans at the league level?
Absolutely, Boria. And 26 medals at the Asian Games, 3 at the Olympics, 13 in the recently held World Championship. These are great achievements for the sport and for the shooters. And, there is a need to drive fan engagement, especially for the league, because it's a commercial venture. And we intend to make sure our franchisees and our broadcast partners and various stakeholders remain, because over the period of the league. So we intend to make sure that the entire league structure is financially viable. And for that, we need to have a large presence amongst our fans and amongst the audience. And therefore, we have a strong drive for fan engagement, which we're going to start very soon.
Thoughts on the Asian Games? Massive year again, 26, and then the cycle starts, right? Till 28.
Absolutely. Asian Games is the start of a cycle. Last year, we won 26 medals. This year, we intend to come very close to that, because there is a limitation on the number of athletes which are being sent for any country in India. And we are working around this new challenge from a policy perspective to ensure that we do not compromise on the team in any manner as far as possible. But having said that, I'm confident that our athletes, our shooters, will do very well in the Asian Games, and we will again be one of the top performers for getting India the medal tally that it deserves. And going ahead, we have a number of international competitions that the Federation is hosting. In February itself, we have the Asian shooting competition. In 2027, we have a World Cup quota competition. And in 2028, we have a World Championship, Junior World Championship in India. So we are ensuring that our athletes get enough exposure in international events. We want to make sure that going ahead in the quota competition, we try and maximize a quota of 24 as far as possible. And we are able to better our tally in the coming 2028 Olympics.
Yeah, now that the qualifying module has been set out, right? Couple of days back, and it's the same for shooting. That was actually my next question to you. That last time also we met the quota requirement, and we were one of the highest number of athletes in Paris, translated into a few medals. But given the talent now, breaching that 5 barrier or 6 barrier, and then progressing towards the 10 medals overall, if one sport can give us say 5-6 medals, India will be able to do that. How confident are you? Because this is one sport. See, when I look at boxing, I think a plateau has happened. The wrestling, a plateau has happened. Archery, maybe with compound, it can go up. Men's hockey is the 1 medal. Cricket, yes, maybe 2 medals with the men and women possible. So when I look at the overall picture, badminton again has a plateau. Maybe a Lakshya Sen, Satvik Chirag. That's all at the moment. So the one sport which gives me a lot of hope going into the Olympic Games or this cycle is shooting. So your thoughts on that, because you will feel pressure. You will feel a lot of pressure once the Asian Games is done, 20 plus medals again. We will put pressure on you saying how many, and how will you insulate your young athletes mentally?
So look, now while we talk about the 3 Olympic medals that we got in the last Olympic cycles, what we don't normally talk about are the 3 number 4 positions we had got. That means missing a medal by a whisker. And what we do not talk about is, let us say, Manu Bhakar getting the silver and missing the last shot. So there is, while we have done very well in the last Olympic cycle, we also have a potential to go up further. And I'm confident that our young athletes will achieve those successes. And that, the indications are by the success in World Championships and World Cup, the recent World Cups, that the team is very strong. You're right. As a federation, we need to insulate them from pressure and give them the right mental framework to be able to face the pressure. Because pressure will come, as it does come on every athlete. And I think shooting as a sport for the Indian diaspora will continue to lead the efforts of Indian medal winning. And I'm sure all other sports will contribute too. And I think India is going to have a great year, few years now going ahead into the Olympic of 2028 and hopefully 2036 Olympics, which are going to be hopefully, held in India itself. And the government is putting a lot of effort into it. I have to commend the government. They've done a great job so far. And I'm sure their support will be unstinting going ahead.
Last question. When I look at Indian sport, and I still see that one sport kind of hogging maximum money, and no one grudges that. That's how the market reacts or the commercial dynamics are. But when I see Indian shooting, yes, Manu has some endorsements and made some money. There is some reward there, some few crore rupees post an Olympic medal. But largely, the problem that I see is we don't reward a world championship medal. We only reward an Olympics medal or maybe Asian Games or even CWG earlier. We don't give the same recognition for a world championship, which is perhaps harder compared to any of these medals. Is there any thought where take a Sif Samra who has done so well, not in the Olympics, but in every other, each of these athletes, when I see a cricketer who makes several crores from an IPL, these people also need to make money. That's when aspirational stories will be created. More people will come into the sport. Is the federation conscious of that? And is there an effort to kind of inject or get more sponsors, more brands, more something so that our shooters also become top earners in the sporting domain?
Oh, absolutely, Boria. Not begrudging anything what any other sport does, including cricket. I mean, that's the way the market is structured, I think. But having said that, I think realization is dawning on people on the immense success that sports like shooting and other sports too have in terms of getting medals for India, getting excellence in the world. And you're right, we need to look beyond the stereotypes of Olympics, Asian Games, and Commonwealth Games, because it is the World Championship which is the most competitive amongst all. There are almost 2,000 shooters shooting there. And, Sift is one of our top performers, one of our strongest shooters. She may not have made the medal in the Olympics, but, she certainly remains one of the strongest potential medal winners for India in our sport. And it is just for this reason that we have set up the league, so that we can increase the visibility of shooters like Sift and others, so that going ahead, there continues to be a strong financial support for them. And we make sure that they are as much of a star, if not bigger, than our cricketing stars. Now, having said that, it's also imperative to understand that shooting itself is not a very broadcast-friendly game. So we need to ensure that tech comes into the league and we make it exciting. And that is why a lot of thought and a lot of effort is going into making sure that when the league is held, it hits the bullseye and achieves what we have set out for it to be.
Brilliant. I mean, it's been a wonderful conversation with you, Kalikesh, as always. I mean, the league will end on the 26th of February and our conclave is on the 16th of March. You've already confirmed participation. So hopefully we will be able to do a constructively critical review of the league as well, where we can get better, how good it was and what's the way forward. And obviously 6 months will be left for the Asian Games. So we'll take stock of that. So can't wait to have you physically with us in Calcutta for the conclave. Before that, I'm sure we will catch up with each other in Delhi for the league. But all the very best to you in this stint as president. This is a sport that has given us tremendous hope. So I just hope that you consolidate, you take this sport forward and give India a lot of joy in the years to come.
Thank you, Boria. With your consistent support, I'm sure that we will be able to manage to better our performance going ahead. And all suggestions will be welcome. I think that's the only way to take the sport forward with consensus, both productive and critical inputs, and making sure that we better ourselves going ahead. Thank you again.
Thank you.